Hello everybody, it's Tommy. Welcome to my new YouTube channel. If you are not a subscriber, please like, share, and considering subscribing to this channel so you can get updates. Make sure you hit that bell for notifications for when I post new content. Without further ado, let's get into this. So today I'll be talking about my spinal tap experience. Oh my goodness. I'm still recovering. Okay, so let's talk about it. So my neurologist put in other work for me to get done at a different hospital, but I can't really speak on that yet. Waiting just for God to have me to release that. But what I can speak on is the spinal tap. So I was scheduled for a spinal tap I think a month ago or 2 months ago, but I was scared. So I was like, man, I don't know. So what I did was I canceled the appointment because my son ended up having to go to the hospital. So I canceled that appointment, and then I had told them that I could just call back to reschedule it since it was a referral that was put in by my specialist, by my neurologist. So they was fine with that. So I took care of my son's appointment, but as it kept approaching, I knew I was gonna have to get it done, and I couldn't keep putting it off. So I was like, man. Okay, so I prayed about it, I fasted about it, and I was dealing with a lot of anxiety about it and a lot of fear because my bones are very weak and brittly, and they sometimes fracture. So my concern was them putting a needle through my spine, through my already weak bones. You know, my imagination just ran wild with that thought. So from there, I ended up scheduling it, and it was scheduled for November 4th on a Monday. So for a spinal tap, you can eat or drink, but for every procedure, I just don't eat and drink because I just feel like I just don't want none of my levels to be thrown off. I just want them to be organically, able to just be, not anything coming against like my blood work or anything. So I just don't eat or drink, even if they say you can. I just don't. Well, with a spinal tap, they prefer that you don't, but you can. But I didn't do it. So I didn't eat or drink nothing that day. Or the day before, after 12, I didn't have anything to eat or drink either. So I woke up in the morning, I took my shower, said my prayers, got my word. With a spinal tap, you cannot drive. You have to have someone to drive you. So I saw many videos about spinal taps, and I didn't see like the procedure being done because I didn't want to scar myself with more anxiety. But I've seen like people talk about their experience, and everybody's experience is different, and everybody's body is different. So you never know if you'll have the same experience because everybody's situation different. But anyways, moving on. So when I got to the hospital, I changed out my gown and everything, and I went to the bag, and I was so nervous. I called my godfather. Love him so much. My godparents are the best. And he prayed with me and just told me, put Jesus on your mind and just say the Lord's Prayer. So the nurse that was doing the procedure was very sweet. She made me feel very comfortable. I feel like God lined me up to the right person to do it. So I was very happy about that. So whole time they talking to me, I'm saying the Lord's Prayer in my head to pray against the anxiety and the fear that's trying to consume me by this new found test that I have to do. That's even more difficult than the last test from last week with the tubes in my nose and all that. But anyways, so yeah, with the spinal tap. So they rolled me to the back and basically put me on my back. No, actually, they put me on my stomach. I laid on my stomach, and they propped a pillow like underneath my stomach to prop my back up in the right position. And then they made sure they propped the pillow up like underneath my ankles to make sure my feet was positioned to where it straightened my back out more. and I had a pillow at the top to just rest my head on since I was laying on my stomach. And literally, to be honest, all I did was just scroll on Instagram to distract myself. You could actually, she let me be on the phone, which was a good distraction, because I do have a phobia of needles, even though I have to get needles like almost every other week when I'm at the hospital every week. But yeah, so I was just scrolling and scrolling, and she's just talking to me like, we're getting ready to do it and da da da. So they were cleaning me off, the other two nurses, before the head nurse comes in to actually do the procedure. And so from there, I just laid there, and then the head nurse comes in. She's very sweet, very kind, made me very comfortable. And me, when I'm nervous, I talk a lot to try to distract myself from pain. So I'm just talking up a storm to them, like, yeah, we got all these puppies at home, Great Danes, and I got a lot of kids, and da 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 da. Girls at gay, Daisy Girl Scout troop, and da da da. I'm just bringing up random stuff, And they're like, oh, okay, and wop, and they talking back to me. And so she was like, alrighty. So there's like this machine, I forgot to mention, when you're laying down on the bed, it's a machine that hovers over you. So I think the machine, if I'm not mistaken, is maybe a CT or MRI machine, but it's a mini one. And they lay it over your back because a spinal tap is very tedious, and they have to make sure they're doing it right so they won't injure you or cause any permanent damage. So the machine is showing and it's basically guiding you to how to get to that area that they need to get. So with a spinal tap, they're not doing the top part of your spine or the middle, they're doing the lower part of your spine. I forget what they call it. I don't know if it was C3. Honestly, I don't really know the medical terms, but the lower part of your spine. So when they get to the lower part of your spine, she cleaned me off with the antiseptic. She took that needle, y'all. I felt the needle insert through my skin, which wasn't as bad. It was like a little pinch. But as it got through to the meat and the bone, I was praying the Lord's Prayer a trillion times. I was like, and then they was just looking at me like, why are her mouth moving so fast? Because I was talking to Jesus. Okay, that pain was on. It was off the chain. But I was just saying, like, our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, forgive us our trespasses, we forgive those who trespass against us, lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For that's the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever and ever. In Jesus' name, amen. Our Father who art in heaven, which art, and I just kept saying that because the pain, and while I was saying, I was scrolling, trying to distract myself, didn't stop to pray. It hurted, but I can honestly say it didn't hurt to the point where it was like, oh my gosh, oh Lord help me. Like, it just hurted. Well, actually, what I forgot to mention, so when she was putting the needle in, this was the needle, they give you local anesthesia, so they don't put you to sleep or anything like that. They give you a numbing shot. So this needle that was going through me was the numbing shot, so it went all the way down and penetrated the bone. It was horrible. Now that did hurt, because it wasn't so much of the needle that hurt it was the actual lidocaine. Because when lidocaine get injected into you, it has this stinging and this burning sensation. So that really hurt. It was the lidocaine for me. The needle hurt it, but if I had to choose what hurt worse, it would be the lidocaine. But the burning effect, it only lasts for like a little 5 minutes, 3 minutes, or something tops like that. But yeah, anyways, from there, I laid there still, and she was telling me what I'm going to do when we do cerebral spinal taps. We have to measure the CFS fluid. The CFS stands for cerebral spinal fluid. So they have to measure the CFS pressure. She measured my CFS pressure, and it was not good. It was at a 34, y'all. That is horrible. So she was like, wow, that's not too good. Let's see if it will go down. At least see how much it will go down after we drain the fluid. So the whole process of a spinal tap. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention. So after she put the numbing needle in, and when you put the numbing needle in, a tube goes with it. The tube stays in you. She pulls that numbing needle out, and she comes in with the other needle that actually drains your cerebral spinal fluid. And that needle, so she put, I think, one needle in. So she used the needle, as far as with the lidocaine needle that comes with the tube, but she took that needle out. The tube stays in. So she took the needle that was going to draw the fluid, but that needle was not penetrating the area, so she had to take that out and get a longer needle and put that in. So that process was like, because the lidocaine didn't reach that ending area, so I felt that. I ain't gonna lie, that hurt it, but the Lord got me through it. And so I was laying there, and she was measuring the CFS fluid. Mine was at a 34, which is horrible. And she was saying that, so when you do a cerebral spinal, when you do spinal taps, aka lumbar punctures, you have to first measure. Of course, you numb the area and everything, but then before you drain fluid, you have to measure the beginning CFS pressure. And then after you measure the beginning CFS pressure, then you begin to drain the cerebral spinal fluid for testing for different cancers and different autoimmune diseases. And once you drain the fluid, you have to end the process with an ending cerebral spinal fluid pressure, an ending CFS pressure. So she drained 6, I think, liters of fluid, maybe. I could be wrong, but that's what I thought I heard was 6 liters of fluid for my brain and for my spine. And then the ending pressure was 25, which is still considered in bad range. So she said it did go down a lot, but this only went down 25. So after that, my back was still numb. So after you do a lumbar puncture, you have to lay on your back flat for an hour before they let you go home. This is to decrease the chances of you having a spinal headache. I laid on my back for that hour. They released me. I came home and laid on my back for more than an hour, for the whole day and the night. And everything was fine. I didn't have a spinal headache, but the next day, y'all, I had that spinal headache. It was something terrible. I'm still recovering from it. I feel like the spinal headache is worse than the lumbar puncture, if I'm being honest with you. Lumbar puncture is not that bad. Spinal headache is horrible. So with the spinal headache, oh my goodness. Okay, first of all, I couldn't hear it out of my ear, and I'm not even joking. I don't know why my symptoms was like that, but I could not hear out of this right ear for 3 days. And I had a lot of stuff that I had to take care of. My husband, he did the housework and my kids, which was great, and I was happy and blessed about that. But I ended up having a vendor's fair that I already paid for at a church conference that I had to be a part of. So I laid down those 3 days and I prayed. And on that 4th day, I did not have a spinal headache at all. I had a little spine pain, but it was manageable. And I told myself that at this vendor's fair, I'm not going to do the work. I'm just going to bring my 2 older boys with me, have them set the table, and I just sit down and, sell tea. So that's what I did. And everything was fine when I was there. My head was not hurting or anything. So from there, I ended up leaving. But when I went home, y'all, the spinal headache came again. It was the worst ever. So the symptoms of my lumbar puncture, honestly, the side effects of after me having it. Oh, I did forget to mention when she was injecting me with the lidocaine needle, and then she was coming in with the lumbar puncture needle following after that one. She accidentally hit a nerve, so I felt every nerve in my left leg, see, like, jerk. But it's normal, all those veins and arteries and nerves are all in the area. So, but they know what they're doing. They're trained professionals. But anyways, to get back on topic of this spinal headache, it was horrible. And, excuse me, on top of having that spinal headache, my spine was hurt. Outside of before having a spinal tap, my bones are weak. So having that needle inserted in really made it just very tense. And so now my spine still hurts. The only reason why I'm sitting up is to do this video. I usually just lay flat. Honestly, I can honestly say that my spinal headache is really going away. But when it was horrible, my eyes were hurting. My eyes, they hurt just a little bit, but not so much. They do. My eyes are sensitive. Like I said, I could not hear out of my ear for 3 days, and I had to go to that Vendors Fair, the church conference, and one of the first ladies of one of the churches, she touched my ear and prayed over it. No, first, I was serving tea beverages, so I specialize in making tea blends that help fight cancers and chronic illnesses and autoimmune diseases. And I also make teas for just taste. And if you don't know about that, you can follow me on Instagram at Tommy's Tea Room. But anyways, I bring this up because at the Vendors Fair, I sell tea to everyone, and I also serve teas. So I served tea to one of the elders, and he enjoyed it, and he said that God blessed him through him drinking the tea that I made. He said that it unclogged his nose, and he was just recovering, from not feeling too well. So he prayed for me. He prayed for healing. Remind you, I didn't tell this man that I was dealing with any illness in my body at all. So he prayed for me. And then right after that, when I was leaving and my kids packed up the stuff and we were leaving out, one of the first lady of one of the churches that was a part of the conference, she gave me a hug, prayed for me for healing. And after that, she was telling me something. I was telling her, I can't really hear you. I'm having trouble hearing out this right ear after my procedure. So she just touched it and she just started praying like, Lord, I know you will bless her to hear again. And, she was just praying, And so when I got home, I could hear out my ear. So that symptom is gone. Thank you, Jesus. I was very concerned because it was very strange. I never had that happen in the way that it sounded. It sounded like everything was underwater. And another thing, I know these symptoms that I'm having are probably not a good sign, but I know there's something that I have to talk to my neurologist about, which I kind of did talk to them briefly about it, and I'm supposed to have a follow-up appointment. But my ears were very moist. Very moist. That was weird. Because when I looked up everyone else's lumbar puncture experience, their ears were not moist. And I never heard of anyone say that they couldn't hear out of their ear. So I was concerned. But I did have peace. God did give me peace to not have anxiety or worry about it, because it's out of my control. I can't really control what happens with my body. I can control what I'm eating and putting in my body. And praying and presenting myself a holy sacrifice, live, to the Lord. But I can't control what is happening to my body. That's when God has to come into the picture. So I prayed about it, and he gave me peace to just don't worry about it. I'm gonna take care of it. The saint prayed for my healing, and then the first lady prayed for my body and for my ear, and I was able to hear again. But I was dealing with weird symptoms, like my eyes are very sensitive. It's not just really sensitive to light, because this light is not bothering me, but it's like just blinking, it hurts. But it doesn't hurt to where it's irritated or to where I can't function or to where I'm not comfortable. It just hurts a little. It's a little sore. And then my ear, I can hear, but from time to time, it's moisture in both of my ears. very strange. And my spine, oh my gosh, Lord have mercy. With my spine, my lower spine still hurts, and it's affecting my hips, which is very strange because we didn't touch my hips. So it's like when I'm getting up, my hips feel like they're locking or something. I don't understand it. But my spine, my lower spine definitely still hurts. It's not hurting now. Thank you, Jesus. I'm thankful. But yeah, that's my lumbar puncture experience. I got half of my results back, and so far not good, but we're gonna keep trusting God. And I'm not really surprised by bad results, because when I share my testimony, you guys will see why I'm not surprised about certain things. It's just not meant for me to share every single thing in this moment, but when the time comes, I will. This is just a journey, and I'm not trying to put everything in the limelight when it comes to this journey, because it's personable for me, and it's an experience that God has given me to overcome and to grow in Him. But also it's my journey of learning and growing spiritually. So a lot of things aren't going to be shared. Some things are just going to remain private, and then there's some things that God will allow me to reveal in His timing. But this is just the journey that I'm on, and I have more tests coming, so stay tuned to that. I have more health vlogs coming. Stay tuned to that. I do want to start baking, but to be honest, it's not that I haven't been in the mood. I just don't be feeling good. But hopefully, I'll have like different videos, because this is a new channel. I still have my family channel with my kids, my husband, and I will be doing family stuff on this one. But the reason why I created this one is because they kind of took over the other one with like video game stuff, and it's unorganized. So I wanted to make a new family channel that's more organized, but I wanted to also make a testimony channel where I can share my personal testimony of my personal journey, which is why I decided to name it Tommy Janae. But yeah, I will be having family videos on her, like vlogs and challenges and little fun stuff like that. So I'm excited. But yeah, that's my lumbar puncture story. If you have any questions, comments, or anything, please let me know. You can comment down below. I don't mind. And yeah, thank you for watching my YouTube channel. And please remember to like, share, and subscribe, and hit that bell so you get notifications on when I post new testimonies, new health journey vlogs, and even more. Stay tuned. You don't want to miss out on the next video. I love you guys. You guys have a blessed night.